guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to another episode of Brewing It Live with me, Lotus, and him, Han.
I'm him.
You're him. I'm me. Today we are going to be brewing another one of the Modern Horizons cards, Chatterfang, Squirrel General. Hopefully with your help from chat, as always. But first of all, let's find out what Chatterfang does. He's a 2 and a green Squirrel Warrior, 3/3 with Forest Walk. And if one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens, plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, are created instead. And then for a single black, sacrifice X squirrels, target creature gets +X, -X to end of turn. That's pretty
Yep.
sweet. That is awesome. So,
I
I'm addicted
Ash
to
I haven't
squirrels.
I haven't played in forever. Yeah, it's been driving me nuts trying to hold off until Saturday to build this.
Don't start with the puns again, Han.
Benson appreciates it if nothing else, I hope. But no, it's pretty nutty.
Yes, it's nutty. Uh, why? Why do I have you here, Han?
I show up.
Fair. So,
We're building some squirrels. Let's go.
this commander has upset me a little bit, but also made me super happy, because I was already super happy that I had Toski, and then they made this one, which just... I'm sorry, Toski, we loved you, but you've been demoted.
Yeah, can't supersede the general, I don't think.
No. No. Toski is now
I'm
like a lieutenant or something.
Yeah, it says it right on there. Squirrel Warrior, which yeah,
Yeah.
you can run Chatterfang and Najila. I just realized. Anyways,
Yeah, I
warrior.
found that out today. It was disgusting. You make that many 1/1 warriors and that many 1/1 squirrels. Ew.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, I have so many suggestions, and there's a few combos that if you watch my Instagram, you'd have seen what I have planned. But Han, how have you approached this deck?
Uh, first things first. I just threw in everything off of the secret layer straight on into it. That's just me though.
To anything squirrel related? I like this already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the most fantastic ones that I'm just gonna go ahead and jump on right now was Crozen Beast. The art in that one from the secret lair is vastly better than the one that will probably pop up in Architect.
Yeah.
But
The deranged squirrel
yeah,
looks better than some kind of worm thing.
1,000,000%. So Crozen Beast is 3 and a green for a squirrel beast, not quite a warrior. It's a 1/1, but it has threshold. Crozen Beast gets +7/+7 as long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. So this is the one that I wanted to really shine. If I ever got to play Crozen Beast, I want this thing to be a big boy squirrel. So yeah, I want some stuff in my graveyard, and there's definitely some ways that we can put some stuff in graveyards.
Well, we're in Galgari, so
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see what
That
Ashen suggests from Kamigawa for this.
I'm sure he can find something for us. Um, but yeah, a lot of times I just wanted to uh, get some stuff in my graveyard, and whether we bring it back from the graveyard or not is completely up to us as a whole. However, yeah, the first thing I want to notice, I want to point out, is that Chatterfang has Forest Walk, and we got
Yes.
a fantastic new land that was spoiled
Oh,
in Modern
is
Horizons 2.
Green Urborg.
Green Urborg, yep.
uh,
Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth.
that's it.
Yep. So Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, is a legendary land. Each land is a forest in addition to its other land types. So this is just like Urborg, but now it's in green. We have Forest Walk on our commander. We want this in our deck.
You know what? Should we just go and put an Urborg in so every land we have is dual?
Yeah, why not?
That way we don't.
Instant color fixing. No
Yeah,
problems.
seems seems fair.
Oh, I don't know
It,
about fair, but yeah, it seems good.
yeah.
Um, while we're on the subject of lands, I guess we'll throw in a couple extras. So Path of Ancestry is a fantastic one.
I'm sad
Uh,
that you didn't choose Swarmyard first.
well, I already said we're putting all the secret lair squirrel cards in, so we'll get there.
Fair.
But Path of Ancestry, it enters the battlefield tapped. It adds one mana of any color in your commander's color identity, so color fixing there. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. So we have any squirrels that we're casting, we automatically get to scry.
Yeah, or any warriors.
Absolutely. Heinz D22 says Grave Titan sounds awesome in that deck.
Ooh,
So Titan is the one that is going to bring us some zombie tokens, if I'm not mistaken. 4 black for a Grave Titan. Giant 6/6 with Death Touch. Whenever Grave Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens.
and
Yep.
yeah, I love
With our
this
commander out.
secret layer art on that.
Oh, I love that too. Uh, yeah, Grave Titan is a fantastic addition to this. If you wanted to go creature that generates you some tokens, which are also going to generate you some squirrels. Yep, that
Yeah.
sounds great. And
So
with some death touch, healthy dose of death touch.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put in Swarmyard at this moment, because
Sure.
the land that can regenerate our commander, it wasn't that necessary in Toski because it had indestructible, but this doesn't. So this is now more relevant than ever.
Absolutely. Yeah, the swarm yard from the secret lair.
Yeah.
And uh, while we're on the topic of Grave Titan giving us some zombies, I think we might as well just add the Field of the Dead in now.
Sure.
We're gonna make some landfall zombies and squirrels.
Yeah, this is gonna get slightly out of hand, isn't it?
It really will. This is one of the few decks where I have absolutely no problem with Field of the Dead and our commander. That we're just gonna absolutely enjoy things like roiling regrowth, harrow, type effects where cultivates are fine. Don't get me wrong, but as far as our ramping, like you know, our harrows will sacrifice a land, so it will get another threshold card in for our Crozen Beast, as well as getting some additional lands into play. So yeah, we like all of that. Field of the Dead makes it happen.
Okay, so are you saying that you want obviously Harrow in the deck, but also
hmm
oh,
Roiling
crop?
Regrowth, the one from Zendikar.
Oh, I was gonna say crop rotation, roiling regrowth.
Yeah, it's the exact same as Harrow, just on a Zendikar Zendikar Rising land or card.
Fair.
Yeah, I think you mentioned crop rotation. Seems
I
great.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to try and trigger um a few of our lands to make Field of the Dead go off, I think having a couple of them is not that bad. Plus, it searches for any land, so we can go get
Yep.
Yavimaya
Yeah,
or
Maya.
Urborg.
Yep. Whichever one we don't have, we have the luxury of both
Yep.
in this color now, which seems ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that we're gonna end up going down the create loads of tokens and attack with mass tokens.
Sure. That
So
is certainly that's certainly probably what's going to happen.
yeah. So I know it's not a squirrel. Um,
hmm
but what about tender shoot?
Yeah. Every upkeep, we're gonna go ahead and make a sapperling and a squirrel. Absolutely. Two
Yeah.
tokens for the price of one.
I mean that just makes this so much better.
Right. So we're talking about token generating. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Interesting. Now, squirrels are just green, the creature tokens, right? They're
Yeah, they're
not green and black. Okay,
no, they're just green.
cool. Yeah, the reason I was asking is because I had one that was quite similar. It's actually a creekwood liege that I wanted to throw out there. This is one of the liege cycles from oof, Modern Masters, Eventide, but one Golgari, Golgari, Golgari. So 4 mana value for a 2/2 horror. It gives other black creatures you control +1/+1, and other green creatures you control +1/+1. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a 1/1 black and green worm creature token onto the battlefield,
And a squirrel.
and a squirrel. So yeah, not every upkeep. So a little bit different from Tendershoot in that regard. However, it does bump up the power and toughness of all of those.
Yeah. So Ashen's in chat saying Maskwood is probably good with a variety of tokens and the multiple of lords.
Sure. So we're talking about Maskwood Nexus, right?
Yeah.
So
The
creatures you control are every creature type now instead of just squirrels.
Yeah, and you can pay 3 and tap it to create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with changeling and a squirrel.
Yay, we're Sultai. I mean, what? Uh, I guess the other one that we definitely need to throw in here, token generating amazingness is Scoot Swarm, correct?
Ew. Yeah,
I mean,
but
if you really want to go nuts with it,
I mean, 2 and a green for a 1/1 insect landfall. Whenever a land enters a battlefield, create a 1/1 green insect. If you control 6 or more lands, create a token that is a copy of Scoot Swarm. Yeah, this
mm-hmm.
is. Oh,
Never mind the fact that it also, we have a Field of the Dead. Yeah, Heinz, Heinz D, yeah.
yeah,
Chatterfang does go infinite with Pitiless Plunderer. We'll just throw that in now because it's just a solid, amazing card, anyways, for this type of deck.
yeah. So this
So,
was one of the cards that I did show on my Instagram. So you sacrifice a squirrel to, I don't know, a Altar of Dementia, and you make a treasure and a squirrel. When you sack the squirrel, and you can just infinitely mill the table with squirrels. And for anyone that doesn't know what this card is, it's 3 and a black for a 1/4 human pirate. Whenever another creature controlled dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token. And
yep.
Chatterfang will make that plus a squirrel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ashen also says, also you gotta put Chatterstorm in. To that end, you might want something like Cryptolith, right? So that all the tokens are mana dorks to make a large storm count. Yep. So
I love
you wanna read off
Chatterstorm.
Chatterstorm?
I'm hoping this replaces Empty the Warrens in Modern, because seeing squirrels in a mainstream deck would be great. But it's 1 and a green for a sorcery. Create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token with Storm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty fantastic one. As far as and now the Cryptolith Rite is basically our ramp. So Cryptolith Rite is 1 and a green for an enchantment. Creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So yeah, every squirrel, every time you make more than one token, you're just making that many green squirrel creature tokens, and you're just ramping super hard.
Yeah, this is going to be disgusting.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it.
I can't
Uh,
wait to get my hands on this. And I do need to get this specific artwork. The wide art frame. I don't know. I'm going to do something really sort of breaking the illusion here, but this artwork is fantastic.
yeah, Chatterfang, the fantastic one right there.
Yeah,
Oop, that way, that way.
you don't know your left
So
from your right, do you, Han?
you flip me around. I swear, it's not my fault.
I do it every
Um,
week. You
so
don't know which way you are each week.
no, I really don't, which is the sad part. So one other ramp card I really enjoyed is Harvest Season. So Harvest Season is uh, actually originally out of Amonkhet, but the Kaldheim Commander deck also has it. Um, Yeah. Harvest Season 2 and a green for a sorcery. You search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control, and put those cards onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. So, assuming we go wide with a bunch of squirrels and are swinging, we do this on main 2, and now we have a bunch of lands, potentially a bunch of zombies with if we have Field of the Dead out. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Heinz D says, what's the name of that green Emrakul guy from Eldritch Moon that makes 3/2 horror tokens? Ashen has said Emrakul's Evangel. Let's.
Evangel, yep.
I don't know that one, so let's have. So 2 and a green for a human horror, 3/2. Tap, sacrifice it, and any number of other non-Eldrazi creatures put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi horror creature token onto the battlefield for each creature sacrificed this way. Ooh, so we have 10 squirrels. We sacrificed 10 squirrels to get 10 squirrels and 10 3/2s.
Yep, yep,
I
yep.
like that. What's the downside? That's awesome. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that one seems pretty great.
I I do want to put in my little combo that I had when I had Toski though, if that's all right.
Yeah. I mean,
So
do we even add Toski yet?
we don't. So Toski
Okay.
is a 3 and a green. It can't be countered. It's indestructible. It must attack. And whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a fantastic
Card draw.
squirrel. Yeah.
Yep.
So with an indestructible squirrel, we are going to put Druid's Call in here.
Ooh,
So
Druid's Call so good.
Druid's Call is a enchantment aura, 1 and a green. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, put that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens into play. So
Hmm.
the best thing we can do is equip this, enchant Toski with this. And then the final piece is Pariah's Shield. And Pariah's
Pariah Shield is
Shield
pretty fantastic.
is a 5 mana artifact with equip for 3, but all damage dealt to us is dealt to equipped creature. So now when we have Pariah's Shield on Toski with Druid's Call, we're just going to make so many squirrels because all the damage dealt to us is gone to Toski, which makes squirrels, which Chatterfang makes more squirrels.
Yep. That yep, that checks out. So, and let's just re-highlight. Chatterfang also has the activated ability of pay a black, and you can just sacrifice X number of squirrels, and target creature gets plus X and minus X until end of turn.
That minus
So,
is a real good killer.
right. So you can also pump Chatterfang up as well and start doing some commander whoppings as well, if the toughness is big enough, right?
Yes.
So yeah, there's some shenanigans that you can definitely do with this commander.
Well,
One effect that I wanted to kind of highlight in that regard is something like a Mazarek Crawl Death Priest. Mazarek is 3 and Golgari for a 2/2 flying insect shaman, and it also has whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
yeah.
So whenever we're doing our Harrow slash Roiling Regrowth slash I'm gonna suggest a Spring Bloom Druid in here for this effect as well. But yeah, anytime any player sacrifices a creature, permanent, token, anything, land, mass land destruction, whatever. Yeah, we're just going to have +1/+1 counters on all of our squirrels, and they're going to be ginormous, and that'll include Chatterfang, and then
Yeah.
you can go ahead and pump Chatterfang up to insane levels while you're sacrificing.
Well, also, there's a new card in Double Masters, Chatters, Chitter Spitter.
Chatter. Hmm.
So, Chitter Spitter, 2 and a green artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a token. If you do, put an acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. Squirrels you control get +1/+1 for each acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. But for a
Yeah.
green and tap, you can create a squirrel. So it feeds
Yeah.
itself.
It feeds itself every upkeep. And yeah, let's go ahead and give all of our squirrels +1/+1. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Lotus meant Modern Horizons 2, not Double Masters.
I
But yeah,
mean, this is a
uh,
master's set. This set, other than being, in my opinion, expensive, this is one of the best sets that they've made.
I think it's pretty fantastic. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Ashen is suggesting Konda's Banner
Oh, yes.
or the Kamigawa card.
Kamigawa card. I already used to run it in Toski. So it's a 2-mana artifact equipment for equip 2. It can only be attached to a legendary creature. Creatures that share a color with it get +1/+1. Creatures that share a creature type with it get +1/+1. So our green
So yeah,
squirrels get +2/+2.
yep. Chatterfang, Toski. Yeah, we have a couple of good good targets for this.
Yeah.
Um, so I had some fun win conditions that I wanted to kind of throw out towards you before
Okay.
we go, because we have to decide which direction we're going. But I'm just gonna throw some of these out here. Heinz, yep. Arachnogenesis might have some impact in here. Yep,
I was gonna
agree.
say, I'm surprised you've not said that because Heinz, you've beat Han to it. This is his favorite card of all time. And with
All
chat,
time, but it's
well,
pretty
it's
great.
it's up there. This card
It
with our commander is just stupid.
Yes, I mean it's Scoot Swarm level stupid.
Yeah.
Um, so Arachnogenesis, go ahead and read it off, Lotus. You have it up.
So it's 2 and a green instant. Put X 1/2 green spider creature tokens with reach onto the battlefield, where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by non-spider creatures.
Yep. Uh, Ironically, going back to Maskwood Nexus, if we have that out, then yeah, all of our creatures are spiders.
Yeah.
So silly win cons that I really liked when I was kind of looking at Chatterfang here. So uh, obvious one is Crater Hoof. That's not my favorite way to win, but let's throw it in there for now,
Okay.
because Crater Hoof is Crater Hoof. So 5 green, green, green for a 5/5 haste beast. When Crater Hoof Behemoth enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Very generic. If you want to go that way and win, it's an easy. Okay, we're just gonna kill the table. That's fine. Um, However, one of my one of the most interesting ways that I wanted to do this was things like Strixhaven Stadium seems fantastic in Chatterfang.
Oh,
So
Han.
Strixhaven Stadium is 3 mana for an artifact. Tap to add a colorless. Put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from Strixhaven Stadium. It can go to 0. I'm fine with that. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, however, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Then, if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all, and that player loses the game.
I kind of
See
like
where
it.
this is great? You
Yeah.
see how this is great? We're making a bunch of squirrels going wide, doing our thing. And then even if Strixhaven Stadium's at 0, there's a very high likelihood that you're going to get 10 counters on this quite easily.
I I strangely like that a lot.
So that's one of the fun win conditions that I wanted to throw in there. Another similar one that seemed very interesting, albeit it's a little bit more janky, but
Okay. That's my style.
I I love the idea of putting a Ruxa Patient Professor in here. So 2 and 2 green for a 4/4 Bear Druid. Whenever Ruxa Patient Professor enters the battlefield or attacks, return target creature with card with no abilities from your graveyard to your hand. Creatures you control with no abilities get +1/+1. this is relevant for all of our squirrel tokens
Yeah.
because you may have creatures you control with no abilities assign their combat damage as though they weren't blocked, is the last line on Ruxa.
Oh, it is. That's dirty. I love it.
It's phenomenal.
I
I
f-
saw this and I went, wait a second. Our squirrels are now 2/2s minimum, and
yeah.
you can just assign their combat damage as though they weren't blocked. That's a sneaky little, huh?
I'm gonna swing with 20 squirrels. Okay, I'll block with all these. You still die. That's yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Now,
fun little one that I really liked.
you know how I'm a big advocate of non-blue counter magic?
Oh, sure.
They released a new one. It's very
Mm-hmm.
specific, but it's Verdant Command.
Yep,
Verdant
it's
Command
great.
is a 1 and a green instant, and you get to choose 2. Target player creates 2 tapped 1/1 squirrel tokens. Or, and, counter target loyalty ability of a planeswalker, exile target
Right.
card from a graveyard, or target player gains 3 life.
Yeah, and we get to choose two.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that card so much. Like, if something comes down, like, I don't know, we were talking on the podcast about someone playing with Jeska. You can just counter that ability.
Yeah. Jessica ability just goes nope.
Nope. I
And
said
you can
good
also
day.
make two. I said good day. And two tapped 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens to boot on top. Yeah,
And then
that
make
seems fantastic for
2
us.
more squirrels, which aren't untapped.
Yep. Oh, Heinz D beat me to it. Species Specialist is an amazing card. I believe this came out of Commander Ikoria Commander deck. So Species Specialist is fantastic card draw. 2 and 2 black for a 2/3 human warrior. As Species Specialist enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. Whenever a creature of the chosen type dies, you may draw a card.
Ooh, I like that. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, we're choosing squirrels all day, every day, and we're just gonna go ahead and enjoy.
Oh, that's awesome. Now,
Yep.
how much do you want to break this commander?
Mm, I mean, it's gonna break on its own. However, yeah, what
What
what were you thinking as far as it?
what if we put a Helm of the Host in here?
Oh, you're a bad person.
Oh no, we can't. They're all replacement effects, aren't they? So you'd only replace one.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, that I don't think that works, but the idea
No,
is good.
the idea was there. It's not gonna like Adrix and Nev busted. I was trying to work it, but my brain just went, nah, that doesn't work.
Nah, yeah, I thought about it for half a second too. However, what does work is things like Panharmonicon will double as far as effects that allow us to, because Chatterfang doubles in that instance, right? Panharmonicon 4 mana for an artifact. If an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, which is going to be our Chatterfang. Uh, yeah, that ability triggers an additional time, so
So do we
doesn't.
have many ETBs though?
Well, what I
Because
was saying was a Spring Bloom Druid would be a good one for putting 2 lands in, was what I was thinking, first of all.
thank you for the follow, a Jank Master. I don't think Pan and Monocon will work the way we want it to, but I think Parallel Lives will.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about other cards to go with it down the line as well,
Oh,
but
okay. Well, we'll put both in then and see how it goes.
yeah, because yeah, and Parallel Lives, 3 and a green for an enchantment. If an effect would put one or more tokens onto the battlefield under your control, it puts twice that many of those tokens onto the battlefield instead.
Yep.
Lots of lots of creating tokens. We like it.
Loads.
Uh, so here's another one that I wanted to throw out as a jankier win con, but it's something to look out for. Jake Master Stream says East Tree. Not where I was going, but Kodama East Tree. Is that what we're doing here?
I mean, you know how powerful this.
Ironically,
I played this without a partner as a mono green commander deck, and this thing was unstoppable.
it took a lot of effort to stop it at the very least. Yeah, let's throw Kodama in. I actually don't have it in here. Jake Master Stream says 2 bounce lands, so we're looking at Golgari Rot Farm as far as the bounce land, and we're also looking at what is it?
Guildless
Guildless
Common?
Commons?
Yeah, so.
Yep. So we can throw those in for sure.
And then that just makes our
Uh,
Scoot Swarms.
mm-hmm. Um, yeah, on the topic of I suppose on the topic of lands, Castle Garenbrig just came into mind as a fantastic one. Uh, Castle Garenbrig enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a forest. It taps for green, and you pay 2 green to tap it to add 6 green. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells or activate abilities of creatures. So
In the same
yeah, we
instant,
can.
then, it's Castle Lochthwain for drawing cards.
Yep, certainly. Uh, I think that so. My suggestion with the janky win con though was going to be a Champion of Lambholt. So 1 green for a 1/1 human warrior. Creatures with power less than Champion of Lambholt's power can't block creatures you control. Whenever another
Sure.
creature enters the battlefield under your control, you'll put a 1/1 counter on Champion of Lambholt.
Yeah, so if we can't get Rux, we can get this.
Right. So Champion of Lambholt will grow bigger and bigger with all these tokens entering the battlefield. And then creatures with power less than Champion of the Lambholt's power can't block creatures you control. So just another way of making it unblockable.
Yeah. Disgusting, huh? We haven't even put all the squirrels in yet.
Nope. But yeah, we just have to have we just want the supporting infrastructure in right now.
That's fair. This is disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Uh,
Drink Master Stream says East Tree loves that and goes, let's win.
yep. How many squirrels do I want to make today?
Oh, there's so many ways to make some squirrels here too, no less. Heinz D also says Phyrexian Tower, which is probably a fantastic card to include. Sacrifice a green squirrel creature token, and you generate 2 black mana, and that will feed Chatterfang's ability or anything else for that matter. So yeah,
Yeah,
seems great.
seems good. Um,
So the big token generator I was thinking about was an Avenger of Zendikar, because make plant tokens and you make squirrels equal to the amount of plant tokens you just made.
and yeah,
And there we go.
yep, that's disgusting. And I was like, oh, this deck will be a nice little squirrel janky deck. No, this deck is absolutely disgusting.
It'll get there.
What do you mean it will
Yeah,
get
so
there? I mean,
it'll get
short
there
of
pretty
putting Triumph of
consistently.
the Hordes in.
I mean, we could. Uh, for now, what do you think of on the topic of Avenger of Zendikar making us a bunch of squirrels? Squirrel Mob.
I love Squirrel Mob.
Uh, yeah, you want to read that one off? Squirrel Mob.
Sure. 1 green, for a squirrel, 2/2. It gets +1/+1 for each other squirrel on the battlefield. Its flavor text: an army of squirrels is still an army.
Yep. And that's not even the secret lair art, but yeah.
No. Let me try and find the secret lair one actually.
Sure.
There it is.
Um,
I barely escaped with my life. At that number, they could take on Emrakul herself. Yes, I love that one. I need to take out one because I've put 2 squirrel mobs in. There we go.
double the mob. Um, yeah. Uh, I think that things that we need to do now.
Green black
Oh,
token storm. Hoof. Yes, Hoof is in here.
Yep, Hoof is in here. Ashen says, "I'm surprised every squirrel-related thing hasn't gone in yet." Yeah, not yet,
Not yet.
but, a fantastic one, Essence Warden,
Yeah.
1 green for the 1/1 elf shaman that whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. So, yeah, let's gain some life.
Yep. Seems good. I'm
I
gonna
really I really enjoyed this deck so much.
I'm gonna
It's
put in one of my little silly ones just because. Uh
Sure.
no, it's not Acorn Harvest, even though that is another squirrel card. Acorn
Nope,
Catapult.
catapult.
4 mana for an artifact. 1 and tap. Deal 1 damage to target creature or player. That creature's controller or player puts a 1/1 squirrel onto the battlefield. I mean, we can just ping one of our 1/1s to make 2 1/1s.
Or better yet, we can ping Toski equipped with
Pariah's Shield
everything that you
and
mentioned earlier
yeah,
and make
Pariah's
a
Shield and
bunch.
Druid's Call.
Yep, I love it. It's great.
Oh,
Uh, so for some extra token generation, what are your thoughts on an awakening zone?
Awakening
Uh,
Zone.
yeah, 2 and a green for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token. It has sacrifice this creature, add a colorless.
Just to say thank you for the follow, MTG Mana Drama. Oh, yeah, at the beginning of the. Yeah, I quite like that.
Let's see. What are we? So we need some squirrels in here, is what I'm hearing from Ashen, right?
I mean, it is supposed to be a tribal deck. Well, we say that it's just turned into a token heavy generation deck.
Ooh,
Um,
Jake Master Stream, Crossroads or a Chroma. You make a big board and then go past. I'm going to second the thought of having a Chroma's Memorial on here. We are making some flying squirrels.
okay, I love chromism.
Yep.
Yeah, creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from black and red. You really wanted to take out Emrakul.
Which one do you mean by Crossroads, Jake Master?
Yeah, which crossroads?
There's quite a few crossroads that could refer to, I think. Haunted
Uh,
Crossroads?
Concordant crossroads?
Well, Concordant Crossroads is the one that gives everything haste.
Yeah. I mean, that one would give all our squirrels haste.
Got it.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
what crossroads you're on about.
I mean, we can do a bunch of things just like that, uh, on end steps and things like that, honestly. Because yeah, there's lots of things to make some. Yeah, Drink Master says Concordant Crossroads. So the one that gives all creatures haste.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I,
could be good.
I mean, especially if you're running Ruxa and you can't. It doesn't matter if they die, because the damage will be going through as if it's unblocked anyway.
Correct. Um, hmm. Ooh, I just remembered. So, are we doing Beastmaster Ascension in this deck? Seems good.
It'd be wrong not to, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Beastmaster Ascension, 2 and a green. Enchantment that reads, whenever a creature you control attacks, you may put a quest counter on Beastmaster Ascension. As long as Beastmaster Ascension has 7 or more quest counters on it, creatures you control get +5/+5. Does not get in the way of Ruxa. Yeah, seems great.
I'd love to get an altar of this with just squirrels.
Let's see.
I'm trying to be, because I'm not fully familiar with the new cards from Modern Horizons 2.
Sure.
I'm still sort of looking through the new cards to see what's been put out.
There's a couple. There's, I know we have Ravenous Squirrel already, right? No,
Ravenous.
no, not yet.
No, what's that one?
Yeah. Ravenous Squirrel. It's a single Golgari hybrid for a 1/1 squirrel. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Squirrel. So it just gets bigger and bigger as it eats. One and Golgari and sacrifice an artifact or creature, colon. It's not a tap ability. You gain 1 life and draw a card.
I like that. These sketched
The
artworks are really good. And I don't know if
I'm waiting to
anyone's.
see it in person.
That's fair. But if you look at some of the sketched artwork, they have, instead of flavor text, they have the note that the artist was given. So, for example, this one says action. This is a squirrel who eats everything. So that's all the artist got.
Yeah. Uh, what do you say to Squirrel Wrangler?
Squirrel
Oh,
Wrangler.
yep. So now that we're in Golgari, it actually becomes quite interesting. Because like I said, we want to do things like sacrifice lands and get some zombies and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So now we can do some land shenanigans with Squirrel Wrangler and just start bringing those lands back and replaying them and so on and so forth. Squirrel Wrangler, 2 green for a 2/2 human druid. 1 and a green, sacrifice a land, create two 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, which reads 4 with our commander out.
Yeah.
1 and a green, sacrifice a land, squirrel creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. So, yeah, we can go ahead and sack some lands and get them into our graveyards for some threshold and go ahead and make our squirrels bigger, or we can
Make more of them.
just make more squirrels.
Yeah.
Ashen says Dray Keeper is one. Uh, Squirrel Sovereign and Squirrel Sanctuary. So let's start with Squirrel Sovereign, I think,
I was
because
going
I
to
think
start with
that's the.
Draykeeper.
Okay, go for it.
So 3 black green for a 2/2 elf druid. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 squirrels. 3 and black, squirrels you control get +1/+0 and gain menace till end of turn. I like that.
Yep. So there's some ETB with Panharmonicon potentially, right?
He gave the squirrels acorns. They gave him vengeance. Oh, this makes me so
And then
happy.
they get, and then squirrels get +1/+0 and menace. Seems
Yep,
great. Although that does keep that in mind that with Ruxa out, once they gain menace, they no longer are vanilla creatures.
true.
Um,
But if we don't have one and have the other, it's fine.
Right. Squirrel Sovereign is the other one. That's 1 and a green for a Squirrel Noble 2/2. It's a Squirrel Lord. Other squirrels you control get +1/+1.
Which one was that? Sovereign? I was hydrating, I'm sorry.
Yep, Squirrel Sovereign.
Oh, the artwork on this is beautiful.
Yep.
So,
Now we have Squirrel Lords.
yeah, the rule of the Aldering Forest. Num's Tail stole the acorn from the new Nestwind, who stole it from Brunky, who stole it from Lightroot, who stole it from Leafpaw, who stole it from Darkfur. Okay. I'm sure
There's a l-
I'd love to know what the backstory is on that.
there's a all I know is that Squirrel Lord has a lot of subjects that are doing a lot of stealing.
Yeah. What was the other one? Sorry. Squirrel
The last one was
Sanctuary.
Squirrel Sanctuary. Yep. So that's the enchantment, I believe. 1 mana for a 1 green for an enchantment. When Squirrel Sanctuary ETBs, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return Squirrel Sanctuary to its owner's hand.
I like that.
Yep. Can definitely go infinite with that. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I quite like it. How are we doing in terms of card numbers here so far?
We're at 81.
Oh, not bad.
No. We've even started with,
Uh,
we've even got some ramp in here, which is unlike us.
yeah, this early on.
Is it time for our Lord and Savior Gitrog, says Heinz.
Oof.
Um,
Get shrug.
as long as they have the judge artwork. There it is. 3 black green for a frog horror 6/6 with death touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog monster unless you sacrifice a land. You may pay lands, an additional land, on each of your turns. Whenever one or more
Yep.
lands are put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card.
Yeah, card draw. Let's
Yeah?
go ahead and get some card draw and card advantage on here. I
I'm a
quite
little.
like
The
it.
only thing I love Architect. This site is amazing. The only thing I wish they did was tone down the foiling just slightly. Um, but otherwise, I can't fault this website.
Minor
Minor
complaint.
complaint.
Got it. So, yeah, Ashen says I had Gitrog once, the only deck I've accidentally stormed off in.
How would you accidentally store?
I have Gitrog in my Muldrotha deck, and it's a workhorse. It does some work.
Yeah, but
Mm. Um, yeah. Do we want to go ahead and have a skull clamp in here?
I mean,
Between some of the cards that we've discussed, I think it's just we get to draw as many cards as we really want. So get rid of a squirrel by equipping skull clamp for 1, and then you're going to draw 2 cards. That will generate 2 more mana from things like what's it, right of Cryptolith, right? So net mana increase seems good.
seems reasonable.
Yeah. Uh,
So I
Go
I've
ahead.
just looked at my. I'm literally googling because as we say, we are brewing it live with you guys.
Yeah.
So I don't have a list. I'm literally brewing it. Um, but Underworld Hermit just popped up on my list.
Uh-oh.
So 4 black for a human peasant 3/3. When Underworld Hermit enters the battlefield, create a number of 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens equal to your devotion to black.
Ooh, I love it.
That's awesome. So at minimum it makes 2. If we have, how many black pips do we have?
Not
2
a
there.
whole lot, I don't think.
I mean, Brinkwick Leech has 3. You have 1 on
Yep.
Drykeeper, 2 on Grave Titan, 1 on Mazrek, 1 on Pitless Plunder, Ravenous Squirrel. There's quite a few.
Yeah. Sounds like we need more pips though, right?
We need more pips, but
Okay.
yeah.
I've got options for that.
I also had that problem with my Azusa deck storming off out of nowhere. Oh, we've just
uh,
missed one. There's a really good one Heinz just mentioned. Liliana.
Dreadhorde General might do the job for card draw as well as giving us 2 black pips. I love it.
Yeah,
So 4 black for a Liliana Planeswalker. Who doesn't love Lily?
yeah.
Comes in with 6 loyalty. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. +1, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token and a 1/1 green creature,
Squirrel.
green squirrel creature token. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. That should never be a problem for us.
Nope.
And -9, each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. Yep, that'll win some games right there.
Yeah, that'll
But
win games.
also keep in mind all these zombies as well don't have anything written on them. Ruxa loves it.
Oh, yeah. So, if we going to more planeswalkers, what
Yeah.
about a planeswalker that will make us squirrels, ramp us, and potentially win us games?
Are we just talking about Liliana again?
No. I was thinking, is it Tyvar Keld?
The elf
So,
one?
yeah, so elves have Add Black. No, not that one.
I'm a
I'm
little confused
no.
as to which one you're thinking of.
What's the card, the Planeswalker that does it? Similar. Um, makes mana dorks.
Mana dorks.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
the
talking?
mono green Planeswalker. It used to be. It can be your commander.
Oh, Freyalise.
That's it.
There you go. You just had to say it could be your commander. Freyalise seems good. Yeah.
So
Heinz.
I just want to see if it's any good actually. So +2, put a 1/1 elf into play with add green, destroy artifact or enchantment, draw a card for each green creature you control.
Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah,
Yeah. Seems okay.
yeah.
Throw
Everyone's
it in for
shouting
now.
at me, going for Elise. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because I have a couple thoughts as well on that. However, that seems fine. We have some recommendations here and suggestions in chat. So Ashton says the hermits. So how are the hermits not in? Same with squirrel nest. So deranged hermit and deep forest hermit.
Deranged hermit. Yeah, that's holy.
Deranged hermit is the one that is now completely bonkers in terms of price. Yep.
Yeah, that's over. That's hundred and twenty
100
dollars. I literally bought this I bought this like 3 weeks ago for trying to work out
Totsky.
math. $25.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful, but this shouldn't be this much. People need
Yeah.
to.
But
People need
so
access to cards.
well, yes. I mean, Chatterfang got spoiled, so squirrel cards are going to go up, right?
Yeah.
However, deranged hermit, go ahead and read your $25 card.
Um, 3 green for an elf, 1/1 with echo. Um, when it comes into play, put 4, so 8 squirrels into play, and all squirrels get +1/+1.
Right. So 4 squirrels that become 8, and then all these squirrels are +1/+1. Yep, seems good. The echo is during your next upkeep. After this permanent comes under your control, pay its casting cost or sacrifice it. So you have to pay 3 green again.
Yeah.
But then you
Um,
get another. Yeah. But I mean, you want to sacrifice that because then you just do it out of your graveyard potentially.
potentially. So you've got deranged hermit. We've got
Deep
deep
forest hermit.
forest hermit, which
Yeah.
is the modern horizons one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 3 green. It's got vanishing 3, so you have 3 time counters on it in your upkeep. You remove one. When there's none left to remove, you sacrifice it. Makes 4 squirrels, and again, squirrels get +1/+1.
Yep. And way more affordable at $3.49.
Yeah,
So,
it
yeah,
does.
you
It's a
have.
similar thing, except this one we can't keep around. The other one we can pay 5 mana to keep it around.
Yep. So, yeah, having the Lord stay around is not the worst thing either. But yeah, these all seem like pretty strong effects. Do we need some more card draw? Because I've got a couple.
Well, I've just seen that Ashen's also suggested Squirrel Nest.
Oh yeah, my
Um,
bad, Ashen.
ah, oh, I didn't realize it was in gold border as well. But Squirrel Nest is 1 green for an enchantment aura. Enchant a land. Enchantment land has make a squirrel. It's simple.
Yep. Tap, make a squirrel, make two.
Yep.
Make two with Chatterfang out. So here's a fun card that I found. Can be card draw, but it
Okay.
can also just be silly.
I mean, we're
It's
playing with
called
squirrels.
it's called Pact of the Serpent. It's 1 green and a green for a sorcery. I'm sorry, 1 black and black. I don't know what I'm saying. 1 black and a black for a sorcery. It says choose a creature type. Target player draws X cards and loses X life, where X is the number of creatures they control of the chosen type.
Okay.
So we can potentially draw a bunch of cards and lose a bunch of life, but hopefully we have some Essence Warden and some Akroma's Memorial to kind of give us some life in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could draw a bunch of cards this way, but we could also use this on somebody else too if they're any kind of a tribal deck and they can also draw cards and lose some life.
Yeah.
So depends on the situation, but kind of flexible. A little
So
bit situational, but
we've hit 90 cards.
okay.
I think I'd like to suggest some removal. We're in two of
Sure.
the best colors of it. And the first one, you should already know what I'm typing in.
Um,
We're in
Barrier
green.
breach.
It is. I
Got
I
it.
can't love this card enough. Two and a green, exile up to 3 target enchantments, and cycle for 2 if you don't need it. This
Yep.
card
Also can potentially be good for threshold.
and threshold. It's just
Hmm.
this card is a bonkers. I love it so much.
Okay.
Is there any
So other
removal
removal.
where we can make tokens off it?
Let's see. Beast Within.
Raise the Draga and Affetto Dredging. So raise the
Yep.
Draga, one and a black. Choose one. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Return 2 target creature cards that share a creature type from your graveyard to your
Yeah.
hand. Yeah. And the other one
Affetto,
was
Affetto Dredging. So that one is 3 and a black. Ooh, this one's in Spanish.
Alfeto Dredging. Dredger de Affetto.
Yeah, let me change that to English so I can read it. So it's a sorcery. Return up to 3 target creature cards from of the creature type of your choice from your graveyard to your hand. So bringing it back to your hand.
Okay.
So I was thinking, is there a situation where we want to? I mean, we can do stuff like Beast Within, right? That'll be generating a 3/3 green beast creature token.
I suppose we can use
If
it
you
defensively and offensively.
right. But besides that, I think the other ways that I'm thinking of are quite different.
Okay.
Because I was thinking things like Golgari Charm should probably go in here. It allows us to choose one. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. Destroy a target enchantment, or regenerate each creature you control at instant speed for green and black.
Yeah.
So if we have I mean, if you wanted to go the route of like a blood artist effect, you can probably ping the whole table that way. However, yeah, just being able to regenerate all of our squirrels seems great.
Ashen's also said Death Sprout.
That sprout will get us a land. Yeah.
Death Sprout is 1 black, black, green. Instant. Destroy target creature. Search your library for a basic land. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. Shuffle. So we can get the land, sack the land, make a squirrel. Yep.
See, for me, I've started just instead of using death sprout because it's instant speed. I suppose that would be the argument. But I just started running binding the old gods. Um, and yeah, Ashen Poison Tip Archer is probably amazing for this type of deck for sure. Um, Poison Tip Archer is 2 black and green for an elf archer, 2/3 with reach and death touch. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life.
Yeah. We haven't actually got a way to make. So we do have Pitless Plunder in here, which is part of the infinite combo with Chatterfang, but we've not put anything in to make it infinite. So,
Right.
what kind of altar would you like? Would you like the altar of dementia, the Phyrexian altar, or the altar, the other one?
Phyrexian Altar is the other one. I think both Ashnod and Altar of Dementia are quite affordable. Phyrexian is going insane right now.
I think if we
It's up to
do
75.
so, if we do altar of dementia,
I was gonna say either Altar of Ashnod's Altar, or both Altar of Dementia and Ashnod's Altar. Heinz D is already ahead of me here. Ashnod's Altar is great because of Nim Death Mantle. That will essentially go infinite with Grave Titan as well.
Okay, so we'll do Ashnod Altar then. So we get double for every creature we sack. We get double colorless,
Yeah.
and we don't need the
Um,
colored mana because if a creature dies with Pitless Plunder, we're getting a treasure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And we also have Nim Death Mantle as a follow-up suggestion with the Ashnod's Altar. And yeah, I mean, it goes infinite regardless. Yep, I agree. So Nim Death Mantle is 2 mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has Intimidate, and is a black zombie.
Okay.
Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 4. If you do, return that card to the battlefield and attach Nim Death Mantle to it, equipped for 4. So once it's equipped, you sack 2 tokens with Ashnod's Altar, and you just bring it back. So let's say you have Grave Titan out, you're going to instantly have 4 uh, tokens come in, 2 squirrels and 2 zombies
Yeah.
with Ashnod's Altar. Each one of them will tap for 4 or sacrifice and generate you 2 mana. So there you go.
Right, and we keep the squirrels because we only need the 2 zombies.
Yep.
Okay. I like that. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought that a squirrel combo deck?
I mean, I thought it when I started building this.
Oh, and
And
we've
to
put
that
in
effect,
we've put in Panharmonicon as well.
yep. I mean, yeah, Panharmonicon is pretty great. Um, Revel in Riches?
Sure, that makes our 100 card, so we'll now have to
Mikey?
start.
Jing Master Stream. Mikey being Micaeus? Just trying to understand.
Mikey would be great. I'm not sure.
Micaeus, unhallowed.
Oh. Uh, Unhallowed.
Yep. Gets us 3 black pips.
It does. 3 black, black, black. Zombie cleric, 5/5 intimidate. Whenever a human deals damage to you, destroy it. Other non-human creatures you control get +1/+1 and have undying.
Again, not a combo with Ruxa. However, yes, if you have it out, it'll probably still do some work for you.
I'm gonna cut a land because 36 a bit much. So we're at 100
Yep.
cards. Um,
Okay. Let's add some. Let's cut a swamp and add in an Agadeem's Awakening because it's a land.
oh,
Agadeem's Awakening, X, black, 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 for a sorcery. Return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different mana value, X or less.
yeah, good card.
Uh, let's see here.
So
So
I need to
I'm
just
looking at this.
check something quickly.
Or,
Metallic Mimic.
oh, okay.
Does it count for creature? I can't remember how it's worded. Choose a creature type. It's the chosen type in addition to others. Each other creature you control with the chosen type enters the battlefield with additional +1 counter. So that does count for our tokens as well.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this?
I like it. I think that there's a couple of cards that we can cut for sure.
I mean, is Panharmonicon actually going to be good for this? I mean, we've just added another card that says yes, but um,
I mean, I'm okay with keeping the Panharmonicon, but I could see where there's an argument to be made for sure.
should we just move the Spring Bloom Druid?
Um, Jank Master Stream says it does turn off Micaeus as far as the Undying.
True. I'm gonna put Metallic Mimic as a maybe board, so depends on how you want
Yeah.
to build the deck.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
Um, I think that I think that for me, um, Ravenous Squirrel, while amazing, I'm it's a little bit of a question mark for me. Just because are we trying to make this a huge squirrel?
I mean it has one black
And
green draw
we
a
have to have a
card.
yeah, I was just thinking of different ways to do that same thing um,
Fair.
on a more permanent ability. Because I was thinking Moldervine Reclamation, right? So 3 and black and green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, you gain 1 life and you draw a card. So your life gain, it's just whenever it just cares about whenever a creature dies, so it's not having to be sacrificed, and you also get to draw a card.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
And then one of the other ones that I was thinking as far as card draw was also an Oran Frostfang. Um, Attacking creatures you control have Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. But we already have Toski. Are we just okay with that?
Um
'Cause if so, because that also does
you just
turn off
subscribe.
a couple of things. Ashen gifted it to me.
Ah, thanks for the gift sub to Han.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashen. And so my thought was here that I would say let's get rid of the Creekwood Liege and let's throw in a Realm Walker.
Well, we haven't got that many squirrels though. Like we've got a giant, we've got an elf, we've got a human,
Hmm.
and the Creekwood Liege cutting that for a Realm Walker loses 3 black pips.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Yeah, if we don't have enough squirrels, then yeah, we don't need Realm Walker at all.
I mean,
I
we
would
have
agree with that.
plenty of squirrels, just not in
Just tokens. Yeah, I'm okay
cards.
with this. Yeah, that's fine. Just trying to think of what else we could do.
I mean, the other
I think
things are
we
just like Magical Christmas Land, where we put like a Helm of the Host on a Deranged Hermit and just keep pumping out loads of tokens.
Yeah. Let's
What's
see.
Oh, there's a card that is ridiculous. Fractal
Fractal, huh?
Fractal Summoning? No, Fractal Harness. Uh, I'm trying to find the card. Basically, it's an artifact or an enchantment from the new Adrix and Niv deck. It
Mm-hmm.
enters with a counter. At the upkeep, you double the counters on it, and then make a fractal token equal to the amount of counters on it. So we can have some really big things, as well as the squirrels. But I'm not quite sure if it's green or blue or both.
Okay.
But that was an idea that I had. The
Okay.
East
Let me look
Tree
it
and
up real
Helm
quick.
of the Host found my new deck. Trust me, it's mad. It really is mad.
Are you thinking of Fractal Harness? Is it an artifact?
No. It's not an equipment. But
Okay.
it doesn't matter. It only makes 1 token, so it's not like the end of the world.
Okay.
It's like
Um,
we haven't even
yeah.
put a doubling season in here. We only put a parallel lives.
It says Ashen says Paradox Zone, I think is what you're talking about. But
Ah,
yeah, it's the one with growth counters. Double the number of growth counters on Paradox Zone, then create a green and blue fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of growth counters on it.
yeah, this gets out of hand very quickly.
Interesting.
I'm going to put it in the maybe board
Okay.
because I've played with this
Um,
card and it is silly, but it doesn't do enough for our command.
So I'm looking at our current deck, and I'm just seeing we have a lot of creatures,
Yep.
couple sorceries, couple artifacts, couple enchantments. Okay, we're kind of around everywhere.
Yeah, we're pretty balanced.
Uh, so my thought was, do we have enough card draw? Because I think we do now, right?
So, card draw, we have Castle Lochthwain. We have.
Moldavine Reclamation, Liliana, Toski, obviously. We've got some ways to get there for sure. Okay, interesting. Okay.
Just going through the creatures just to see what else we have. Species Specialist.
Hmm. So when our creature dies,
We have Skull Clamp.
yeah,
We have
seems pretty
quite a
good.
few. Pact of the Serpent.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got plenty of card draw.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you really wanted to, we could put in a war room.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Gives it
Seems
an
like a
extra
decent
one.
land.
Yeah. There we go.
So so two things that I was thinking of off the top of my head. Well, three now, but so first one is, do we need protection like heroic intervention, or are we good with having Golgari charm for that?
I think Golgari Charm does the job fine. And
Okay.
if we do have something out like a poison tip archer, maybe we just want them to die.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, and so the other thought was, how about a growing rights of Itlamok?
Oh.
That seems like really needs to be removed pretty quickly.
Yeah, so this would be our Gaia's Cradle kind of card.
Replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Gaia's Cradle's just
Heinz
ridiculous.
Heinz D says Gitrog and Mazrik would also love some kind of fetches, I guess, like actual fetches and Fable Passages and stuff. Yeah, Heinz, we generally just kind of put in like the utility lands, put in as many fetch lands and things of that nature as you want for sure.
Terramorphic,
Um,
um,
Evolving Wilds. Yep.
Evolving Wilds, Fable Passage.
Yeah, for that matter, if you wanted to put in a high market, it'll also love it for Mazrik at least.
Yeah.
Sacrifice a creature, gain a life. Yep.
Well, I mean, we
So
got
my
Phyrexian
thought
Tower.
So my thought was growing rights seems pretty great, because it will just switch over to a guy's cradle, and we're gonna have a bunch of squirrels. So do
Yeah.
whatever you want with it. Only question is, what do we remove for that?
Oh, I just cut a
So
land for it.
yeah, that's fair.
It's a land. I mean, our mana curve
Eventually,
is 3.6, so it's not actually that high. So we're doing all right.
okay. The other thought that I had personally was Valentine was the one that seems really good. Valentine,
The Dean.
and yes, and Lizette. So I'll read Valentine first. So Valentine, Dean of the Vein, is 1 black for a 1/1 menace with lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. When you do, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token. With When this creature dies, you gain 1 life. So it's essentially generating tokens. Now, the other flip side of it is also fantastic. So it's very flexible for our deck. Lizette, Dean of the Root, 2 green for a 4/4 legendary human druid. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain trample until end of turn.
Okay, it's good.
So kind of goes hand in hand with like Champion of Lambholt, and the +1/+1 counters stay, if I'm not mistaken, or do they get? No, it's just the trample that goes away at the end of turn, right? The counter stay.
I was gonna say it wouldn't say counter if it was till end of turn.
Right. So yeah, +1/+1 until end of turn. So yeah, just yeah, if you're gaining life off of, Moldavine Reclamation or anything else for that matter, yeah, like Essence Warden. Essence Warden will go crazy with that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Pay one whenever you gain a life, and all of a sudden now you're +4/+4 in trample.
Yeah, seems
Oh,
reasonable. So we need to cut a card for that though now.
yeah. Uh, let's see.
Is Squirrel Sanctuary good enough? Squirrel Nest?
It's on theme.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, However,
Or
I
should
think the squirrel nest is okay.
so the Sanctuary we can just pop to the side.
I think so.
Yeah, there we go. This is a scary deck.
Slightly.
Slightly. It's got infinite
Slightly.
combos. Mass generation of tokens. This is not how I envisioned a squirrel deck to go.
Mm,
Who said squirrels were soft and fluffy?
I
Well,
don't know.
they are, but they also bite.
Yeah, and have rabies in this case. Yeah.
No, we didn't put infect in.
Not yet. I'm looking for cards to cut for it.
I don't think Triumph for the Hordes is. I don't think we need it in this kind of deck.
Nah, we definitely don't.
No.
So I think I'm okay leaving it there. The only other thought I had was a victimize might be decent for bringing stuff back, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Besides that, I think good.
I mean,
Just throw a victimize in the maybe board for now, I'd say, and then let's just call it. I think it seems pretty solid, unless we got any other suggestions from chat that we want to throw in here. Um,
yeah. Is there any
yeah.
cards in the deck that you feel there's a better version? We try not to go for like top end cards. So, like, I know Rites of Iklamok is strictly worse than a Guy's Cradle and such, but they're expensive cards. But otherwise, is there any cards that you would like to see in here to replace stuff that we've put in already?
I mean, yeah, I'm seeing pretty fairly budget versions of what could go crazy for
Yeah.
sure. Um,
I mean, why it says our deck at the moment is 846. So I'm trying to work out where. I mean, Concordant Crossroads, $60.
I mean, the
Parallel
ranged hermit
Lives.
is another 120 right there. What's up, Lotto Carnage? How you doing today?
Hey, welcome. Um,
Um,
yeah, if
yeah.
there's any cards in here, Lotto, that you can find another version so far, Chatterfang is a token generating combat infinite combo deck.
Yeah. Um, Crater Hoof. The only thing I can think of for kind of going hand in hand with Crater Hoof is a Chord of Calling.
Board of
You can
Calling?
cheat it a bunch of squirrels,
Yeah.
kind of making it a little bit like combat tricky, but that's, having two cards in hand too. That's okay, a lot of cards, no problem.
Good to just have you. Um,
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Um,
I'm quite
yeah,
happy the way this turned out. It's more vicious than I thought it'd be, if I'm totally honest. I was thinking of like, oh, Acorn Catapult would be fun. Just do silly little things, but Grave Titan combo. It's just turned out into a dirty deck, and I'm really liking it.
yeah, I think it's good. Because the only thing I can think of as a strict upgrade would be like doubling season and again things like that, as
Don't
opposed to parallel lives.
I'm
But
scared to look at Gaia's Cradle
n- um,
Judge
Gaia's
promo.
Cradle is ridiculous. It's disgusting. I think
Three
it's like 2,000 or
thousand
something.
three
Yep.
hundred.
Yeah, casual. You have that lying around, right?
I'm sure I can. How many organs do you need to live?
Mm,
So
minimal.
you need sell a kidney. Sell one of your kidneys.
Yep, that checks out.
Yeah, we should get there.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even need anything like Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, right? We don't need any of those. We're good.
No.
This is green. We're in green.
I
We're
mean,
okay.
our commander is 2 and a green. The most ramp card I think that would go in here would be a Jeweled Lotus to get it out turn 1.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. But
But
that's a one time.
that's a
Too.
one-time thing, and yeah, I don't think it's necessary. It'd be
Ooh,
funny, but what have you thought of?
you know what's a fun one that we should probably put in here? I mean, we have squirrels. They're pretty what's the word for it? Uh Rabid? I was thinking of Berserk. Could be great.
This is a card I still need to get hold of.
What? It's a phenomenal card. I
It's
love that thing so much.
expensive too.
It's not the worst.
So it's a
There
single
are worse
green
cards.
for an instant. Only cast it before the combat damage step. Target creature gains trample and gets +X/+0, where X is its power. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be enough. I'm gonna put it in the maybe board.
Uh okay. I was thinking just pump Chatterfang till it has like one toughness and then berserk it. And you can ironically combo it with Swarmyard so that you can regenerate it instead of it destroying.
So
Yeah. And
yeah,
we have effects that you know don't necessarily uh they make Chatterfang bigger too. So
yeah, that's fair.
you can punch through with some forest walk and some craziness. You could do it. That was my thought.
Okay, I get you. But maybe board.
Hmm. It's
Just
also good for other opponents as well when they're swinging out of nowhere.
yeah, that's true. Kill. They swing at them. They bump it, kill it. Then you sacrifice the creature that's the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Still leaving it in the maybe board.
sure.
Otherwise, you happy with this?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I'm really happy with this. I'm gonna try and build this when Modern Horizons 2 comes out. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
so if you want to see the deck list, I will have it on the Into the 99 website in about half an hour. Then you can go through, see it yourself, copy it, edit it how you like. If you play any of our Brewing It live decks, I'd love to hear how it got on. The food deck was really fun to play. I didn't get to record it, but I did get to play with it, and it was actually really fun. I lost every game, but I had a giggle doing it.
As long as you had fun, that's the point.
Earthcraft, Squirrel's Nest, that combo in there. Sorry, couldn't stay completely out the way. Nope, Lotto, it's not in there. What what does Earthcraft
Earthcraft
do?
is $190. One and a
How
green for an
much?
enchantment. $190. Uh, Enchantment that taps an untapped creature you control. You untap a target basic land. So it combos with Squirrel's Nest because that taps for a green creature,
Yeah.
green squirrel.
I I love it. If I had one and could afford it, I'd put it straight in the main board purely on price, not because of the actual idea. I'll just pop it in the maybe board because it's so expensive. But I
Yeah, but it's
totally
but it is
agree.
fantastic.
It's a
It is
fantastic.
fantastic with Squirrel Nest, especially with our commander for sure.
Yeah. Um but yeah, if you want to see more, go to intothe99.com. At the top of the page, it will say content. Go to Brewing It Live, and there'll be all our previous deck lists and the links to our YouTube channel where you can see all the previous brews that we've done. If you want to also check that website, you can see articles, you can see other great things that we do as a channel. Also, the link to our Discord, so you can come in, chat to us, and brew pretty much any day of the week, which we do anyway. Uh, and if there's time, we'll also play games as well. But if you'd like to support us in a more financial way, you can visit our merch store, so you don't just get into the 99, you can wear it. But I don't have a plan for next week, Han.
Oh,
I think
I've got plenty of ideas.
I think afterwards we'll have to have a plan, and you can see it on the website in about an hour what we decide.
Yeah, sounds great. Heinz, yeah, first time. Well, thank you for joining around. I love it. Your suggestions were fantastic.
Yeah,
It
it's a
was right
pleasure
up
to
my
have you.
alley too.
keep
Yeah,
keep
you made me
throwing
think of putting
suggestions.
you made me think of putting Nim Death Mantle in here, and I haven't played with that in forever. So yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, join us in the Discord, come and chat with us. We'll happily brew more. Um but yeah, otherwise we'll catch you next week, and don't forget to check out what we've decided to brew in about an hour on our website. But thanks to
Yep.
everyone for joining. We can't do this without you, so thank you very much. And it's good night from me.
Have a good night, everybody. We
Take
love you all.
take care. Good night.